like these monumental shifts, and then everything sort of kind of tries to balance itself out, and then you have these new dilemmas and new problems.
I would imagine it is. I have a friend named Tony Maggio, who's a sort of legendary drug cop in Baltimore from the East Side, and he's from the community. He's got the complete and sort of utter respect of everyone in that department, not just on the East Side, but citywide in Baltimore, and also he's got the respect of people on the street. And he sort of talks about now, and just talking about these soldiers coming home in the Vietnam era and what that was like. I really equate that to kind of everything that law enforcement's going through right now. We have these, for the first time, with Vietnam, you had these images. Look, I wasn't alive, but from what I hear, you had these images coming into people's living rooms of these, horrible situations. People talking about the My Lai massacre, people talking about these things, in Vietnam, and to the same extent now, we were just sort of, there's so many examples of, crazy and rampant sort of police brutality. You have these instances that were then magnified to the point where people who have no experience, in this world would think that this is what all police are doing. And all of a sudden you have this unbelievably just strident anti-police movement in this country. And, and the result of it, in a lot of places, is a total increase in crime. And talking to Tony about it, he really believes that it's just a pendulum. It's just a pendulum. You go one way, then you go the other, and he thinks it's gonna really swing back.
Well, I hope he's right. It seems like that's always the case, as long as there's not some sort of a catastrophic thing that happens, like a world war or something that literally like flattens society and civilization. I mean, generally people try to move things in a better direction. It's just setbacks and all these things that happen along the way. I think culturally we're all trying to move towards a better direction. I mean, that's why there is so much outrage. And, when we have this anti-police sentiment, it is because of all these horrible, egregious examples of police brutality that we see. No question. The right way to do it is not defund the police. The right way to do it is not like this attitude towards all law enforcement, which is crazy, because some of those same people, they're going to find themselves in a situation where they need law enforcement.
Absolutely.
And then what do? They look like hypocrites, and it's a lack of understanding of the scope of the overall problem.
And I think a lot of the times the conversation is just really being led by the wrong people. We're looking at pundits and celebrities and so-called experts in these situations. We're not talking to the people that are actually on the ground, doing the job, people from the communities. And I think there's a lot to be learned from those folks.
Yeah, oh, no doubt. It seems like there's also this problem of there's so much information to sort through. When you're dealing with this 24-hour news cycle and social media, you're dealing with most of the things that people concentrate on are negative. And so you're dealing with negative consequences and negative actions from billions of people. And we're all trying to filter it out and apply it to our everyday lives while everyone's freaking out about climate change, while everyone's freaking out about the war in Ukraine, while everyone's freaking about the drug problem and the border problem, the cartels and fentanyl and shit.
Yep. Yeah. And everything's designed to just sort of be delivered in the most unnuanced, the most just sort of bright lights. Hey, pay attention to me, and that's scary. The truth gets really lost, and these issues are, they're enormously complicated, and they're not easy. And trying to say that they are, or trying to just sort of deliver an agenda or say I'm on this team or this team, I'm on this side or the other side. It's, for me, I find that enormously un-American, and I find it, I think it's a huge mistake, and it's not the way I want to live my life, or it's not the way I want my kids to live theirs.
Agreed. Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. We have a horrible tendency towards tribalism, and in this country, there's definitely this trend. I think that's also exacerbated by social media and the algorithms, where people are they're holding up on teams and attacking people on the other side, and all of it is kind of fucked.
Yeah, and isolating even more and more. And I think that I really think that the lines in which we're dividing ourselves, so many people have talked about the polarization. It's like one of these things. It's like everybody talks about it, but we still kind of still march to the beat of that drummer. And I think that the lines that divide us, they're so porous, they're so insignificant. They really there's no value based on those lines ever, in my opinion. I think we miss out on so much by holding people back or saying you are on this side or you're on that side, and our prejudices and these things that we ascribe to. I look at it, in that movement that we were talking about, to sort of jump to this conclusion. If you've never been in a situation where you've really needed the police to say that all cops are bastards or abolish the police, or to say that folks in these communities, that where the violence is going down, in sort of the most violent cities in America, to think that those folks that are from those communities don't want more policing there is just a huge mistake. And I really feel like, when I talk to my friends in Shreveport, Louisiana, or in Baltimore, that is not the case.